Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Monday, and all of our guests today, including Giulio, standing by. Brought to you by Passant Motors. Passant is the home of No Tax November. Let Passant pay that pesky GST on your next vehicle purchase with them. Stop by their dealership located at 16315 Fraser Highway in Surrey, or check them out online at Passant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. Just before we get to Giulio, this is in the Bayside Oceanfront Resort inbox. Rick in Richmond. I was so frustrated watching the last minute of the Lions game with them only rushing 3, leaving Harris with all the time in the world. They lost 3 games this year in the last minute playing the so-called prevent defense instead of blitzing and giving the opposition QB little time to pick out receivers. Again, that's from Rick in Richmond, and no shortage of people who feel the same way. Joined now by BC Lions analyst, former Lions and SFU quarterback, our friend Giulio Caravatta, in the wake of the Lions' 24-21 loss in Regina on Saturday in the Western Final. Giulio, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to come on with a couple of legends. It really is. It's my pleasure.
Checks in the mail.
Right back at you. Hey, Giulio, it was there for the taking for the Lions, as Rick in Richmond was talking about. Why didn't they take it?
Yeah, that's the question that's going to burn the entire offseason, right? As much as I know people are frustrated with the defense, you also have to think to yourself, they had 2 opportunities offensively to get first downs, to run the clock out, and they just weren't able to execute. But, I know that Mike has his reasons for doing what he did. A lot of us, me, don't have to agree with him. And I for one, am more like your caller there. Yeah, he said it, that's kind of what I would have tried to do. And at the very least, you play, because they had played very well up to that point. They were doing what they were doing. And then all of a sudden to see that kind of a drastic change for the entire drive really was something that would surprise me a little bit. Because I keep thinking to myself, hey, even with 47 seconds left, you play your defense. If you give up something big or, they happen to score, at least you might give yourself a chance to get the ball back.
Yes.
But, that's going to be something that's going to, as I said, going to haunt the Lions and their coaching staff for the entire offseason.
Amar Doman went on social media, and he let everybody know he didn't think the Riders' game-winning touchdown should have counted. How did you see it? Maybe we've got that picture, Ryan, we could show.
Yeah. It's interesting because when I saw the picture, I never, we saw all the angles that TSN was showing. And they never kind of froze it to that point where you could see it. Mm-hmm. It would have been it's a touchdown on the field. It would have been very, very difficult unless it was really, really clear that it hit the ground, right? And when Amar posted that picture, that's the first I'd seen of that. So I could understand the frustration. But man, oh man, there's just so many things happened in the last 2 minutes there. You think to yourself, when Corey Mace decided to kick a field goal with 5-yard line, and then all of a sudden with 1 minute and 47 seconds left, he decides to punt.
He was getting booed.
I know. And they would have crucified him had they lost that game because of those 2 decisions. But, he put faith in his defense that has delivered all year. And, here's another example, though, too. And again, I understand the frustration with the defense. I get it. But, the Lions on that first offensive series, when they had it, they ran the ball for 5 yards on first down. Mm-hmm. And then they weren't set on the one side. Mm-hmm. Stanley Berryhill wasn't on the line of scrimmage. So had that formation been set, right, those guys were on the line of scrimmage, they rolled out Nathan. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, I like that call, right? Because Nathan now has an option, right? He's either going to run, if the chance is there, he's going to run for a first down, or he's going to be able to throw it. I trusted the way that he was playing and that play that we've seen so often all year, that he was going to make something happen. But they didn't even get out of the gate. Yeah. I mean, those receivers weren't even running downfield until like a second or two after the snap had happened, because they realized, holy cow, and they started running. And then by that time, Saskatchewan's defense was right in Nathan's face. So those kinds of mental errors at those critical moments, you look back and you think what could have been, right? Mm-hmm. So there's lots of blame to go around. And I know that people, hey, I'm about to play hockey with my buddies. I put my bag in the locker room and everyone started yelling at me. So, I understand the frustration. I get it. But I think there's a lot of blame to go all the way around.
Absolutely. 3 Western final losses in the last 4 years, Giulio. When is this team going to get over the hump? It would help if they got a Western final date at home instead of playing on the cold in Winnipeg and Saskatchewan. But they're right there. They're close, Giulio.
Yes.
What's stopping them from getting over the hump?
Well, here's the other part of that, and I agree with you. But this is the first year of Ryan McMaden, first year of Buck Pierce. Mm-hmm. And so I think for them to get where they got in their first year, they're going to recognize what they need to get better, what they need to get over the hump. And I'm excited to see, there was a lot of expectation when Buck came here, and I think he delivered offensively, man. Oh man, that was a juggernaut this year. They were very, very good offensively. They had some issues defensively, injuries. They had some guys come in late in the year that really helped. But now it's going to be interesting to see what Ryan does as far as what he feels they need to get over that hump, right? So you're going to see change. The unfortunate part about every single year is that there's going to be change. And so where that change happens is going to be the exciting part, and see where they build and how they get better for next year. The frustration, as you said, Rick, was that they've been there, they've gotten close, and now they got to find a way to get over the hump. But I'll say this, a lot of the key pieces are there. And when you have an elite quarterback like Nathan Rourke, and you have the receivers that are still I feel like in the prime of their career, you're going to be able to tweak this offense and tweak the defense. They're not very far away from being a really, really good, complete football team. And that part is the exciting part. Probably doesn't sound very good right now at the end of the year, given the frustration. But as we look forward, I think there are very, very bright times ahead for this organization.
I'm still pissed off at the final drive, 75 yards in 37 seconds or whatever. That one's
going to sting for a while.
You can't let a team do that. I'm sorry. But what happened? Like, why was Saskatchewan going down the field that fast?
Rushing.
Well, it really kind of plays into, like, Trevor's 39 years old.
Yeah.
Right? He's been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
He knows. He anticipates very well. He's one of the most accurate throwers in the league.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think he's one of the most accurate passers in the league's history. So for me personally, right, like that, and I think we're on the same page, right? I would have more the mentality, I'm going to go after him and force him into making a decision quickly.
Yeah.
Because when you do rush 3 and you step up into the pocket, now you have time to kind of evaluate.
Yes.
The same reason why teams don't do it to Nathan. Right? Because if you give him the time, he's able to step up into the pocket and move around. Now he becomes even more dangerous because of the threat he has with his feet. But Trevor doesn't have that part of his game. So he relies on that experience and that arm. So for me, I'm saying to myself, I'm going to force him into making a decision quickly. And, that's I think what a lot of people are frustrated at, because it continued.
Yeah.
You do it a couple of times. And then, but it happened the entire drive. I think it was I want to say it was the last play that they finally did decide to come with pressure.
Yes.
Yeah. So I get, like I said, I know hindsight's 2020, and we all but I'm sure Mike had a reason for doing what he did, and sometimes you make those decisions, they work. As Corey Mace made some of those decisions, and it worked for him. It didn't work for the defense of the BC Lions.
Yeah. If they gave up a long touchdown, like a long ball, then they would have had time to let Nathan do his thing. Okay, so Saskatchewan, Montreal, Giulio, in the 112th Grey Cup, I believe the Riders are 2.5-point favorites going in. Who wins?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a heck of a football game because, both those defenses get after you, right? Montreal's defense is very, very aggressive. They're going to come after you. And, Trevor is, he's where he's going to be. On the other side of the ball, Saskatchewan's going to defend Davis Alexander like they defend Nathan Rourke, right? He's a guy that ad libs. He can move. He can throw. They're a completely different team with him at the helm. But interesting. I heard a little something that he had tweaked that hamstring that kept him out of for quite a few games during the regular season. Cold. I'm sure that he is, maybe not as mobile as he probably is at 100%. So it'll be interesting to see how that factors in, because he's a different quarterback when he has that ability to kind of move around. So it'll be interesting to see how that story develops during the course of the week. But it should be a very good game. Both these teams can score. They can both play defense at a very high level. And, that's going to be the matchup.
You playing pickup hockey right now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at the North Surrey Arena. I'm about to get into the locker room and get changed and play and get this big fat body of mine trying to run around.
We just heard that Rutherford and Alvine are headed out that way.
Oh, really?
Are they looking at you?
Canucks need you.
Are you telling me I got a shot?
Yes.
You got a shot.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You're still a young man. Pop one in for Rick.
Okay, buddy. I will.
Giulio, thanks so much.
Guys. I really appreciate it.
You bet.
Cheers.
Yep.